Okay, so this is basically a video about me and Mount Vernon Kid and Ziploc Buddy have all talked about they should all put on Young Justice there should be one more team member, and these are just a list of characters that excuse me, that I would put on the Young Justice team. First off, as you can tell, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. First, why Barbara Gordon and not like Cassandra Cain or Stephanie Brown? Well, I mean, they're using Dick Grayson as Robin, so I think it would be only fair to put the original Batgirl on there. It makes sense rather than have like Cassandra Cain on there and like, oh, this is Batgirl. I'm like, wait a minute, hang on. But then again, this continuity's kind of off because they're Garth isn't Aqualad. It's the new Aqualad. That's the current Aqualad. That makes sense. But then again, they have Wally is Kid Flash. They have Wally West, Kid Flash, and excuse me. They have Speedy, but now he's Red Arrow. So yeah, Barbara. I think it'd be kind of interesting to the team. I wouldn't have her as like a part of the team, kind of like the extra member. Like if she has to fill in for one of the team members, she's not like she's a backup member, just to be around and help out whenever's needed. Not be like a permanent member, but more like a stand-in or whenever Robin's out, basically. Basically whenever Robin's out. That's actually a good idea. Whenever Robin's out, Batgirl comes in. Following that is Beast Boy. Now, why Beast Boy? Because people already know he's already been on an animated team. He was already on Teen Titans. Well, then look at Barbara Gordon. She's been in like a majority of the Batman shows as Batgirl, and never hardly Oracle. We hardly see her as Oracle in some of these things. But Beast Boy, Beast Boy would be pretty cool on a Young Justice team. I'd make him probably a little older and kind of play on the joke that he's older, but he goes by the name Beast Boy. That'd be kind of cool. Beast Boy's always been an interesting character to me. I always a guy who can turn into different animals. I think that's kind of cool. I think that would actually be like a good dynamic to the team. Like he could easily sneak into somewhere without needing to be invisible. He could probably turn himself into a fly or a bug or some kind of bug. Or whenever the team needs help, he can turn himself into a T-Rex or something. I probably wouldn't have the same voice actor as the Teen Titans. I'd try to go for someone else, not from a different guy different from the guy who voiced Beast Boy in the Teen Titans series. I'd probably go with someone else because I want to make Beast Boy a little older. Like I said, he'd play up the whole Peter Pan fantasy, like as Damian Wayne said in the comics. So that'd be kind of, more or less, yeah. I'd kind of mention that he was. I'd also use that he was part of the Teen Titans before, and he's former Doom Patrol. He's not allowed. He hasn't been allowed in the league because of his age, but he's joining the Titans after he left Doom Patrol and after Titans broke apart. I would mention Teen Titans and that they broke apart. And Batman offers him a job on Young Justice. So I figured that would be kind of cool to have, because I really want to know, were the Teen Titans ever together in this show? And if I brought Beast Boy in, I'd say, yeah, there was a Teen Titans team, but it wasn't with Robin or Speedy or Aqualad. It was with Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. And they all just broke apart. So next up is Black Alice. Now, you're probably wondering, why Black Alice? She's a member of the Secret... Well, I think she's a former member of Secret Six. I've kind of missed that whole story arc, new story arc. Did she leave or not? But Black Alice, she's not really a villain per se. She's more of an anti-hero and does it for money. How I would actually bring in Black Alice is that she gets captured by the League, and Batman and Red Tornado offer her, kind of like parole, and put her on the Young Justice team. And this also gives another dynamic that this is a supernatural character. What her powers are, it's kind of unique. What she can do is copy supernatural beings' powers. Like she could even copy the Spectre's power for a short time. Um, that'd be kind of. I think that'd be kind of cool. Um, and people are wondering why not, in that case, why not have Raven on the team or someone? And all I can say to that is basically, uh, I think it'd be kind of cool, and Raven would be kind. I like Raven and all, but I think she'd be like she'd probably how I would make it is like Raven's already on the Justice League or something, or she works alone. How I would also do is like she's acting Sorcerer Supreme that now that Doctor Fate is gone. And she'd be too busy for Young Justice. So putting Black Alice on the team would be kind of cool. Having a goth girl, because that team always needs that gothic girl on the team now. It always has that gothic dynamic now. I've noticed. She's not the moody teenager. She's more like the fun and exciting. Like everything's cool, and it'd be kind of cool to see her work with the other Titans, not Titans, Young Justice members. Like especially, I think she'd pretty much hit on. Aqualad all the time, saying that he looks cool for a fish guy. I mean, she hit on Ragdoll all the time, so she has a weird taste in human beings. So maybe she's into Atlanteans. But yeah, she would be. I'd add her to the team probably because this would be like her first. I think it'd be first animated appearance. And the team needs. Chris and I were talking about this. The team needs a supernatural element to it to help it against other supernatural beings, because Clarion wasn't the only one. It isn't the only supernatural being in the DC universe, as we all know. But moving on is another supernatural being, Captain Marvel Jr., or he's now acting Captain Marvel, Freddie Freeman. I would have him exactly how he is in the comics. Like he's like the Captain Marvel sidekick, and Captain Marvel gives him to Batman, says put him on the team. I'd have him working with him. I mean, he would be kind of cool. He has a lot of strength for since he's one of the Marvels. He's incredibly powerful despite his young age. I definitely put some rivalry between him and the Superboy to add to that little they don't, because when Superman and Captain Marvel ever met, they had that little. Well, at the very beginning, it was kind of like a little rivalry, but not that they became friends. I'd also put in that that dynamic, that little rival, that little thing about Kid Flash not believing in magic, and Freddie Freeman just shouts Shazam and becomes Captain Marvel and goes, "Believe me now." He also brings. Excuse me, I am just so stuffed up in the back of my throat. I'm sorry. Like I said, he would be like another wall smasher of the group, but he'd also bring in, like I said, he'd help out against supernatural beings because he worked with the Marvels all the time. I would basically say that I would basically be like, okay, he's gonna. How I would write is like he's the go-to guy of. I'm sorry, I lost my for supernatural beings. Like, oh, that's the demon, or oh, that's Etrigan, or oh, that's Satanas, or something, and help out against them because he's had more experience with the supernatural. Like I said, with working with with Captain Marvel and the other Marvel family. So more or less, that's how I would write it. Something like that. Like I said, I'm sorry for my throat. I'm very stuffed up back here. But anyway. Yeah, so now we're going to move on to a person who is actually a member of Young Justice in the comics, and that was Secret. Now, I've always wanted Secret on the team because one, she brings in another supernatural element of she's a ghost-like being, and two, she was like, I think it'd be kind of cool to have her because she was. If you guys never read the Young Justice comics, she was a part of Young Justice with with Superboy, Robin, and Kid Flash, but that was Tim Drake and Bart Allen. But yeah, I'm sorry, I lost my place. I'm sorry, guys. She'd also be another cool dynamic to the team. She'd be like the secret operative, like she can phase through buildings or seep through vents or something and come out on the other side and let the rest of the team in. She'd more or less be the recon of the group. She can also maintain a physical form for about a few minutes and help out fight, or she could just disable weaponry. Something like she's like the saboteur of the group. That's how I would put her in there. Also have another supernatural element because the team, Chris and Victor and I have talked about, is that the team kind of needs a supernatural element to, add to that extra dynamic. And I think Secret would be kind of cool just to nod to, hey, we're using Secret from the Young Justice comics. That'd be nice. And again, I think this would be your first animated appearance along with the majority of the characters I've mentioned. But finally is another member that I really think would be cool on the team. He's the former sidekick of Blue Devil, Kid Devil. Kid Devil, I know he was a Titan, keyword voice, because I heard he recently died. I haven't been reading Titans lately, so I couldn't tell you. Kid Devil would be kind of cool. He's also that supernatural element. He'd be a very interesting fighter. He can teleport, breathe fire, and he's incredibly strong. And again, another supernatural being. He'd be, a worthy fighter and another go-to guy in the supernatural, especially when they're fighting creatures from hell. Like, that's Blaze, or something like that. I could see him, kind of like he was always the fun guy in the comics, basically. He was always just having fun and basically hanging out with the rest of the team members. He was also like the prankster of the group. So it'd be kind of cool, basically, to see a character like this in the comics. But, not in the comics, the show. But yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say about these characters. You guys tell me, who would you want to see on the team? Or do you guys have a whole new team put together, or what? Because I think I've pretty much put a new Young Justice roster together from just this list alone. But yeah, I'm gonna stop right here, and you guys tell me what you think.